Okay, my next life lesson is you have the power to control your future. And this one especially will be talked about when I do my college video and even my high school video. But you are really, really, really the first person in control of your life, and you are the one that should make decisions for yourself, and you can get advice. Advice is always helpful, even if you don't do what they advise you to do, because you get to see different perspectives. But you ultimately have the control to go to the college you want to go to choose not to go to college and take a job and save your money and do whatever you want to do. You have the control to get married or not get married or do anything. You have the control, and it's all up to you. So you should never let people make you believe that they're more in control of your life than you are. And there are some really, really super manipulative people out there that they like spot out people that seem sort of weak, or they don't really know what they're doing in their life, and they control them, and they make them think that they can't make decisions for themselves. But you can make every decision in your life on your own, and that's just something really important to remember, because sometimes people are really controlling and manipulative and make you think that you can't, but you can. So never listen to people that tell you that, because it's so not true. My next life lesson is it's all about perspective, and this one is sort of like the think about the big picture, but this is also something that I think about when I'm in an argument, or if I'm, I don't know, if usually with like friends or like relationships or my family or something. It's all about perspective, and sometimes you have to like change your perspective to see it someone else's way, and to sort of see that maybe you were wrong, but maybe you're actually right, and they need to change their perspective and be less stubborn, which I'm very stubborn, so I find this hard. But it's definitely all about perspective. And if you have this also goes into like your state of mind. If you have a positive perspective on things, you will see things in a positive way, but if you have a negative perspective on things, you'll see things in a negative way. That's obviously not how it is all the time. Sometimes it changes, but in general, that's usually how it is, at least I found in my life. So definitely don't be afraid to change your perspective, because you could be ultimately way happier if you just change your perspective from negative to positive. Okay, this one's really important. It is take good care of yourself. And sometimes we put ourselves on the back burner. I think especially as women we do this. It's probably our motherly instinct. At least I do that a lot. I really put people first, and I really try to. Well, it's not like I try, it feels natural for me to put other people before myself. And I really take pride in doing that. So sometimes it's hard for me to realize that I am putting so much energy and effort and love into my relationships, my friendships, my family, but I'm really not taking care of myself, and either like my health, like my physical health isn't in the best shape, or my mental health, or like anything about me, it might not be perfect because I'm spending so much time on other people. And spending time on other people is extremely important, but you can never forget about yourself. And I think I got this in like you know those Dove candies, they have little like advice or like little quips on them, and I think one of them said take good care of yourself, and my sister gave it to me, and I thought that that was really like sweet and beautiful. And it's just something that I try to remember if I notice that I'm really not taking good care of myself, because you need to take care of your mind, body, and soul, like they say. So yeah, just don't forget about yourself, because oftentimes, or not oftentimes, but sometimes we do, and you just can't forget about yourself, because you're all you have, really. Like you will always have yourself, and that's why it's really important to love yourself and to take care of yourself, because you will always be you, and like even if everyone around you leaves, you will still have yourself. So it's getting really philosophical, right? So okay, the next one is do what makes you happy. And I love this one. I think this is such a fun one, honestly, and it also leads into doing what you're passionate about and just doing things that you in general like. If you like dirt biking or something, go dirt biking. I don't care if you're a girl, I don't care if you're a guy, I don't care if you're like 100 years old. If you want to go dirt biking, you should go dirt biking, and if it makes you happy, that's awesome, because you will be so much better off if you are doing things that make you happy, because when you're happy, it radiates from you and people can tell that you are genuinely happy, and I think that's an amazing thing. So I like makeup. It really makes me happy, and people, like, a lot of people don't understand that because they don't have the same passion about it as I do, and who cares if they don't understand it? Like, I'm gonna do my makeup and take like 5 hours to do it if I want to, because it makes me happy, and people don't have to understand. You don't have to justify why things make you happy, because they just do, and just do whatever makes you happy. It doesn't matter if it's conventional or not, or if it makes sense to anyone or not. Who cares? If it makes you happy, you will be so much better off, and I truly believe that, because I don't know, I just cannot imagine not doing the things that make me happy, because then I would just be a miserable wreck, and no one wants that. So yeah, just do what makes you happy, because you'll be happy, obviously. Okay, the next one is take chances, be brave. And this reminds me of a quote that I really like, and it is, be afraid but do it anyway, live anyway. And I think that quote is one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard, and I hope that I never forget it. And I just love the message that it has. And sometimes, well, oftentimes I am afraid to do things, and not that I'm like skittish, but I'm hesitant to do new things, but I'm very strange. I really don't understand myself. Some things I just like dive headfirst into doing, but then other things I'm like really afraid and I don't want to do them. But I've been trying to work on, especially in the last year, things that freak me out or make me nervous, or like anything, especially in social situations. I feel really nervous. I've been trying to just do it and live anyway, because we only live once. Why like sit around and be afraid because it's mind over matter. You can convince yourself that it will be okay, because it will be, of course. And things that I'm often afraid to do or I'm like nervous about are usually the things that I like remember for the longest, and really am like happy that I did in my life, and really proud that I overcame being nervous or anxious or scared, and I just did it. So take chances, be brave. That, I feel like when people came up with the slogan YOLO, it basically gave them an excuse to do stupid ass shit. So, and then they would say YOLO whatever, like, and it's not whatever. Like, you should still make smart decisions, but be brave and do things that you wouldn't normally do. Go out of your comfort zone every once in a while, and I think you will see so much more about yourself and so much more of other people in the world, and I just think that's like an incredible, beautiful thing. So definitely don't YOLO everything, but be brave and just do things that you might not normally do. Okay, this one I am so strongly opinionated about, and I think that this is so important and probably one of like the top 5 on my wall. And it is, always tell someone when you love them and appreciate them. You never know when you won't be able to again. And that's sort of like a sad ending, but I don't always mean that they will die, but like friendships end, relationships end, but when you love someone and when you truly care about them and appreciate them, you really need to tell them, because some people, like especially if they're in like a depressed state or anything like that, they need to hear that that someone really cares about them and loves them. And even if you show them in your own way that you show love, there are different love languages, and people show that they care about you in different ways, and sometimes the way you show people that you love, care, and appreciate them isn't the way that they like receive it and understand that that's what you mean. Like some people, like I try to verbally tell people, but sometimes that doesn't happen because I feel like sort of awkward that I'm always like, I love you or whatever. But I try to do that as much as possible. But some people, they show that they love each other by buying people presents, and so they will spend hundreds of dollars or so much money on buying their loved one or their friend or their mom or whoever. They will spend lots of money on buying them presents, and that is how they show people in their life that they love them. But if you're giving someone $1 million ring, which I'm not sure anyone would be mad about, but if they understand love by like touching, not like sexually or anything, but like hugging or verbally saying like that I love you and stuff, they might not see that ring as the love of the other person. They will see it as just a piece of metal and a diamond. So there's a whole book on that. I didn't read it, but I think that it's really, really interesting, and it's something that I never thought about until I heard about the book. I think it's called The 7 Love Languages. And it's really true that sometimes we don't understand how people show their love to us, and they don't understand how we show their love to them because we speak in different love languages. So just in your own way, or if you know how people like accept that you love them, speak in that language and just show them that you appreciate them, because you really don't know when it might be your last time to do that. And I just think that it's really important to share that with people. And I don't know, I like hearing it when people say that they are like happy that they're my friend or like stuff like that. I think that that is so amazing, and that really like boosts my spirits, and I try to show my love for them in that way or in different ways if I know how they like their love language basically. So definitely do that and tell people that you love and care about them, because it's really, really important, and hopefully they will reciprocate and tell you that they love you and appreciate you. Okay, the next life lesson is don't let others make important decisions for you. And this is probably one that I will talk about in my high school and college videos, but this is definitely applicable to your entire life, and this goes back to my other life lesson that was you are in control of your future, and don't let other people make important decisions for you is going back to that. And especially when we have big decisions to make, whether they be positive or negative, we often seek out advice from other people, and sometimes those people will influence our decision, and we don't remember or see how we would see things if we didn't have their advice sort of clouding our judgment. Or like, you know, if you hear someone say something, it's sort of hard to shake it and see things like with clear vision, like a clear mind. So if you have an important decision to make, definitely like try at least to come up with how you would answer the situation or do in the situation on your own, and then ask for advice if you still think you need guidance. But you should really ultimately be the one to make the hard decisions, and it was something that I learned when I chose to break up with my last boyfriend, because other people were saying like, you should stay with him, you'll probably get back with him, so why not just stay with him, and why don't you forgive him for what he did, blah blah blah. But ultimately I knew that for me it was the best decision to break up with him. And these people that were giving me advice, although I love them, they were not in the relationship that I was, so they don't really know all of the elements that went into my decision. But I chose to break up with him, and it was definitely the best decision. And if I would have stayed with him, I would have listened to the majority of the people that were like advising me, but I wouldn't have been happy with my decision because it wasn't truly my decision, if you know what I mean. So don't let other people make important decisions for you because you might regret it in the future. Okay, don't dwell on things. And I talked about this in my video yesterday, that I am someone that really dwells on things, and I find it hard to forgive people and find it really, really impossible to forget things. And I know that we really don't forget anything, but I find it really hard, and I often dwell on things a lot. So this one is up there basically as a daily reminder to not do that because it's really unhealthy for me, and it just, dwelling doesn't change anything. Like, just dwelling on things and worrying about them in your mind, it doesn't change the situation, and it's not making it any better, and it's basically driving you crazy. So don't dwell on things. It's not worth it. Just talk about the situation with the other person or the other people, because once it's over, you will have nothing to dwell on, and it'll be so much better for you, like totally. Okay, this one's really important too. The things you tell yourself are the things you start to believe. Think positively and optimistically. And like I said, everything bad that happens, I basically think it's the end of the world, and that's really, really unhealthy. But it also goes with the fact that I am really super dramatic and stuff, so it's basically part of who I am, and I don't think that will ever change. But I need to remind myself to think optimistically and positively, because everything happens for a reason. Things will fall into place, and like the first part says, the things you tell yourself are the things you start to believe. So if you think negatively about yourself or your body or like the situations that you're in, you will start to believe those things, even if they're really not true or not accurate. And I have had a lot of body image issues. That was part of the reason why I was really depressed, and I really didn't like myself in the early high school years. And I just thought about myself so negatively and so like horribly that I started to believe those things about myself, like that I was fat and all this stuff, and it wasn't really true. I was very, very skinny, like unhealthily skinny, but because I thought those things about myself, even though no one around me was telling me those things, I thought it about myself, and so I started to believe it. And that's when things can go really, really downhill really fast for people, especially if they already have some like chemical imbalances in their mind. So definitely try to think optimistically, and if people are telling you positive things like compliments and stuff, don't just say, oh, they're just saying that, because they don't have to say it. No one has to compliment you on things, so if they do, they're genuinely saying it, unless they're like Regina George from Mean Girls or something. Like, they are genuinely saying it, because you don't have to compliment anyone. I don't have to compliment people on their outfit unless I really genuinely like it. So people aren't gonna lie to you about the compliments they give you. So just like believe people and try to think of yourself in a positive way, and that will definitely be better for you, and it will also reflect on other people. So that's something that's really important to me, and that I had to learn in a really hard way. Okay, regrets? Did I really just say that? I've been talking for too long. I'm like getting a lisp. Okay, regrets are a waste of time, and that is like very like blunt, and I truly believe that. I say that I don't have any regrets. I have made tons of mistakes, but I don't really regret anything that I did because it shaped who I am, and I like who I am now, and I don't regret anything that I did in my life because I don't see the point of it, and I think that they are a waste of time, and I feel bad when people really dwell on the things that they did that they regret. So both dwelling and regretting, I just think don't do them. Don't like waste your time on them, because they're not like uplifting you, and they're not making your life any easier. basically making your life harder. So just try to avoid it because it's a waste of time. Okay, my next life lesson is don't push people away because you never know when you'll need them the most. And this one is something that I often have reminded myself in the past when I've been going through like tough times, because I tend to push people away and I don't really know why I do that, but I think it's a defense mechanism, and I push them away especially when I need them the most. And if you push them away and you just never show that you really appreciate them, even if you do, they could leave your life and they could like hate you and stuff, and you might need them the next day or like down the road, and you don't have them anymore because you push them away. So just don't do it. It's a horrible decision and you will just feel worse even though like you're defending yourself and stuff like that. Just don't push people away because it'll hurt you and them, and then you might lose someone who's really, really crucial to your well-being and to your life. So just don't do it. Trust me, it's a bad idea. I've made that mistake many times and I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. Okay, every decision you make shapes the person you become, and self-explanatory. I think everyone knows this, but sometimes we forget. Sorry, I just kicked my mirror. If you make decisions, they will follow you and it shapes who you are, and I don't know, it's just something that it is the way it is, and every decision, even if it's a small decision, it will shape who you are. Okay, the next one is have fun, don't get boring, be spontaneous. And this is again a like positive one. It's like reminding me to do things that are out of my comfort zone, that are not boring, and I don't know, it's just have fun, be young. I'm young now and I won't always be young, but even when I'm older I need to like do spontaneous things, have fun, and never get boring, because what kind of a life would it be if you're boring? Because I don't know, I think that would be really sad. Okay, this one's important. Think before you speak. And this is one that's so simple, we forget that it's really, really important, because we say things day to day. I say things day to day that I wish that I didn't say. I say things that like should have never left my mouth, and they're just things that don't need to be said. Like sometimes you just say mean things because you're hurt, and there's the saying, hurt people, and I think that's really true. And sometimes when we're hurt, we're not thinking about the other person, we're just thinking about ourselves, and so we say things that we know will be hurtful to them, but we say them because we're hurt ourselves, even if they're not the ones that hurt us. So think before you speak. Don't dig yourself a hole and say something mean to someone that's important to you or someone that can really like help you in the future, because you can't take your words back. You can apologize for what you said, but they will pretty much always remember them. So just think before you speak. It'll save you a lot of heartache, and yeah, that's just one that is so simple, but we often forget. Okay, the last one, finally, I'm gonna have to cut this into 2 parts because this is way too long. But the last life lesson that I have is good things can come out of bad situations. And it's hard to believe that when you're in a bad situation or when a bad situation is unfolding. But good things do come out of situations that are really crappy. And going back to the first couple ones that I talked about, everything happens for a reason. Things will fall into place, and good things can come out of bad situations. And sometimes you will never believe that until a few months or years or whatever later, when you realize that the bad situation that you went to led to something good in your life. Or just there's so many ways that could happen, but bad situations can lead to good things happening in the future, and that's something that's really hard to believe or accept when you're going through a bad situation, but good things can come out of it and you will come out stronger and better, like I've talked about for a million minutes in this video. So those are all my life lessons. I've obviously learned more things than that, but that was really all-encompassing of things that I wanted to talk about, and I really appreciate my subscriber for asking me to do this, because I'm really touched that you asked me to make a video talking about the things I've learned in life, and I really enjoyed doing this, so thank you. And if you watched this whole thing, thank you so much, and I hope you got something out of it. And if you guys want to make a video or like leave me like comments or stuff about life lessons that you have learned, because we all have different experiences and we've all learned different things, and it would just be great for all of us to share those things and learn so much from each other. So if you want to leave me a video response or comments about that, that would be much appreciated. And thank you all so much for everything you do. I really can't believe that so many of you watch my videos, and that's just mind-blowing to me. So thank you so much. You are incredible people, and I hope you enjoyed this video, or these two videos, because I'm definitely going to cut it in half. So thank you again. I hope you are having a great weekend or had a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye.